It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? It is showtime, Geno Jones Showtime. Let me just adjust something here, because the enemy is always busy, always. Here we go. Thanks, everybody. How we doing? It is Wednesday on my radio show. I call it a Working Divas Wednesday. Thank you for tuning in. Everybody watching me live, and for those who are just watching me, even if it's not live, if you're watching the recorded edition of the episode, thank you for checking me out today. I come to you live Monday through Friday. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to do a special King Holiday live edition of the Geno Jones Show. That will be next Monday. But my normal days and start times are Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30. So it's what, about 5:32 now? I think it's about a couple minutes after. So about 5:32 out in Chicago, up in Chicago. Out in Los Angeles, 3:30 p.m. Tell everybody, spread the word. Tell everybody to subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. Subscribe and share, screen grab, rip some of the video, make it go viral. Like this and every episode. Binge watch all my back episodes. And please leave your comments in the comment section. The Geno Jones Show brought to you by the Crate Group, one of the top nonprofits in America. They've got the big Gullah Harambe. It's a huge event celebrating Black History Month, the King Holiday, all of that kind of wrapped up in one. As a matter of fact, my guest tomorrow is going to be the CEO of the Crate Group. Family, he's part of the Geno Jones Show family, and he's like family for real. Mr. Kendrick Bannister, Brother Al, as I like to call him, and he's going to have some other members of the Crate Group that's scheduled to be on the show with him. So the show, the Geno Jones Show, is brought to you by the Crate Group and City Vibes Bar and Lounge, the ultimate adult night spot. Great food, great drink, live DJs Thursday, Friday, Saturday, a great Sunday brunch. Pretty soon they'll be open for lunch. Shout out to Kenya and Corey Williams. Corey and Kenya, I love them. They're part of the Geno Jones Show family, and they are also family for real. So thank you guys for being sponsors of the show. All right, let's talk about Drake, because I got guests. Both of my guests are on CP time. I don't know what's happening, but they'll be here. As a matter of fact, I just talked one up. There he is right there. So let me admit him. He's going to stand by in my virtual green room. Let me start off by talking about Mr. Aubrey Drake. I forgot, what's Drake's last name? I know his real first name is Aubrey. Aubrey. So anyway, Drake is suing his record label, Universal Music Group, UMG, for defamation over Kendrick Lamar's summer anthem of 2024. Really, it was like Black America's anthem all year long. No, they not like us. Now, this lawsuit says that the song Not Like Us falsely accused Drake of being a pedophile. The song, according to Drake in the lawsuit, made other accusations, false accusations about Drake. And also in the lawsuit, Drake's attorney said that Universal Records or Universal Music Group hired like a special promoter to go to radio stations and basically, they paid the promoter to get the radio stations to give They Not Like Us extra airplay in an effort to basically to sabotage, to hurt Drake's career, so Drake could lose leverage when it's time for him to negotiate his new contract, or next contract, I should say, with Universal Music Group. Oh, the tea is spilling. So we're going to keep you posted on that. Also, shout out to Sheinelle Jones. No relation, not that I know of. She's she was born in Philly, and then her family moved to, I think, like Wichita, Kansas. I'm a huge fan of Sheinelle. So Sheinelle Jones is she's one of the co-hosts of the third hour of the Today Show. So I noticed I hadn't seen her, and a lot of people like, I know y'all, look, Holder retired, but I know y'all ain't fired a sister. So apparently that wasn't the case. And I had to check my button. My guests, both of them are here now. So anyway, Sheinelle Jones, co-host of the third hour of the Today Show. Apparently, she got on Instagram and told everybody why we have not seen her on the third hour of the Today Show. Sheinelle says she is dealing with a family health matter. So let's lift Sheinelle and her family. She didn't go into details. She didn't say which family member. She didn't say what the health matter was, but it's really none of our business. So let's just lift those that believe in the power of prayer. Let's lift Sheinelle and her family up in prayer. All right, I got my guest here. So I'm really excited about this show. So I have two guests. And they're both going to be on screen, on camera with me together. My first guest, because I know he's super busy, they both are. But my first guest, South Carolina State Representative Wendell Gilliard. As a matter of fact, I think I don't know if he's in session. I know he was in a meeting, so he stepped out to be on the show. He's got the big event, the MLK, we call it the MLK Portrait Awards, celebrating, we got the King holiday on Monday, Black History Month, even though Black History is every day, because Black History is American history, and Black History Day is every day. Right here on the Geno Jones Show, Representative Gilliard is going to come on camera to talk about his MLK Portrait Awards and tell us the origin story. And my other guest is the CEO of Hannibal Media, Greg Johnson. We both, actually, we worked at the same radio station about maybe about 5 years apart or something like that. We both worked at KJLH Radio. Shout out to Andre Russell and everybody out there, Stevie Wonder and the whole team out there in Los Angeles. So Greg Johnson is the CEO of Hannibal Media. He is here to separate fact from fiction and lies and bullshit about what's really going on, because I've gone like super hard, like we're not gonna do the cult, the MAGA cult, and all the white nationalists and racists. Y'all are not gonna blame Mayor Karen Bass for something that nobody could control, because there's a whole lot of cities and towns involved, and not to mention your governor Gavin Newsom, and the only person that I'm hearing people talking about, oh, she need to resign, is Mayor Karen Bass. All these other mayors from all these we got Malibu, Santa Monica, all the surrounding areas has been affected, but my man Greg Johnson is going to talk about that. So let me bring both of these fine gentlemen on screen. Wendell, you're sideways. Flip your camera or something.
Flip my camera?
Yeah, because you're sideways now. Ladies and gentlemen, South Carolina State Representative is down at the bottom there. I got my man, Brother Greg. Brother Greg, it's good to see you again, man. It's been a minute.
All right, is that better, Geno?
No, because now you're not on camera, and it's still kind of sideways. You were good initially. There you go. All right, we got him, ladies and gentlemen. The handsome fella you see right there at the bottom, South Carolina State Representative Wendell Gilliard, here to talk about his MLK Portrait Awards. So, Wendell, I know you're busy. I'm not going to keep you too long, but you want to hang around because Brother Greg is like I said, he's out in Los Angeles putting in that work. He's the CEO of his media company, Hannibal Media, and he's going to separate the fact from the fiction and lies and the BS about what's happening out there with the fires in Los Angeles. But Representative Gilliard, let's talk about your Portrait Awards. Give us the origin story and let us know exactly when everything is going to jump off for this year.
Well, this definitely happened. First of all, I want to say good evening. This is my first appearance since, believe it or not, 2024 that I did with you, Geno. As you well know, back in 2024, sad to say, I had lost two of my brothers in all 2 months. So I'm trying to still process that. And I want to thank you for your condolences. People were calling and giving us their condolences.
We lift you
God,
up. We continue to lift you and your family up in prayer, brother.
yeah, but definitely we have the upcoming MLK Picture Award. As you well know, it will be held at the Charleston Music Place down on John Street, downtown Charleston. We want to invite everybody to come out and celebrate with us, with all the unsung heroes, because that's just what this event is all about, to give them their moment. Whether they want it or not, they still deserve it. They have gone above and beyond the call of duty, as we know it, as pertains to public service. And we should all be grateful for them for doing that. Okay, this time we have this year we have 11 people, believe it or not, 11 great people. They're going to be there to receive their awards. Charlie Brown, wide receiver of the Washington Redskins, he has decided to accept the position as honorary chair of my Martin Luther King Award this year. He will be there. Everybody knows him from the wide receiver, the old Washington Redskins back then, which is now the Washington Commanders.
Right.
They're doing a great job. Uh, and he's going to be there to accept that position, and we're very grateful for that. Bakari Sellers, believe it or not, CNN commentator, a good friend of ours, both you and I, he's going to be there because he'll be in town and he wanted to stop by to hail everybody. Now, first time I'm announcing this, Geno, because your show is always right on time with the 911. We'll have the young man, as you well know, he goes around the state and give away cars
Yes.
to people who he deemed necessary to have one. Okay. But nevertheless, he's going to make a big announcement. One of the recipients at the event will receive a brand new used car. Quote
Wow.
me.
It's
Okay.
isn't Brother Middleton, right?
Yes, sir.
All
Yes,
right.
sir. Militant. So we want everybody to come out and partake in the festivities for this year. It's going to be a grand event. But more, we're going to emphasize that we have the one and only for our main speaker, our homegrown brother of the year of the century, Quadro Campbell. Believe it or not, is going to be the main speaker. He's coming down from Greenville. He'll be right in the community, 3 or 4 blocks where he was raised up at to give this year's speech. Okay. And the theme for this year, the theme is that we are stronger together.
Man, say
Okay.
that. Come on.
It's a powerful statement. We are stronger together.
Well,
He's
Wendell,
going
let me just say this, because this has been my motto since really November 6th. I've been preaching this, this. So the theme and the mantra of the show is for us, by us. All right, we are all we got. We realize now that America basically just said to black folks, here, we're going to give you our ass to kiss. We ain't kissing no ass. We are for us, by us. We are all we got. But here's the truth, Wendell and Greg, we are all we need.
Amen. And I'm gonna top it off with this, Geno, because you're right on time as usual. My thing is, look, a setback is a setup for a comeback.
Yes. And
I
we're not
remember
even going anywhere. We're about to take it to the next level. So, because Wendell, let me just say this: you were a student of history, and especially with the rich history of South Carolina and the South. Our ancestors, this is really nothing new, unfortunately. Our ancestors left us the blueprint. Think about what happened after the end of Reconstruction in 1877.
Yeah, amen. And guess what did happen? What I loved about it, we hit them from an
I think your Wi-Fi is acting up. I don't know what part of the building you're in.
Ain't always
there you go.
social.
Okay. We lost you for about 10 seconds.
It starts
Wendell.
with the economic empowerment.
Right. Wendell, let me just stop you. We lost you for about 10 seconds. Just start from where you were. Repeat what you were saying, because the Wi-Fi kind of froze up. The shot froze up.
Yeah, don't ever get so downtrodden and so confused that you just want to just lay back and throw in the towel. No, look here, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. Okay, it's brighter days for us. It's all about unity, solidarity, and moving forward. Okay, that's what's going. Nobody's taking anything away from us. Nobody's hurting us. I think the country is just hurting itself in a sense.
Yes.
And I'll say this, and you've heard me say this before, Geno. When you let a clown into a castle, okay, that clown does not become a king, but that castle becomes a circus. Yeah. And that's what we're witnessing, a circus.
Amen.
Okay?
Amen.
Sad to say.
So once again, give us the date and the location and where people can get their tickets for the MLK Portrait Awards for 2025.
In keeping in with Martin Luther King philosophy, my events honoring him is always free. There is no ticket. Okay, it's always free. It's centered around the children and the adults. That's why we having it 11 a.m. at the Charleston.
All right, we lost the signal. He'll come back. All right, thank you, Brother Gilliard. I'll get that information and relay it, or you can just kind of rewind to the back of the show. All right, Brother Greg Johnson, CEO of Hannibal Media. Man, listen, I am all about, as you heard me say, that the mantra for the show is, listen, for us, by us. FUBU has got to be our motto. We are all we got. If it wasn't clear before, it's clear now that, we were never waiting for anyone to save us. But America's like, yo, look, we ain't effing with y'all, as the kids say on the streets. We just not effing with you. Thank you for letting me know. All right, because we knew all along that we were all we got. But the truth is, we were all we need. I think Brother Gilliard just gonna jump back in for a second. Wendell, if you come back, give us the location.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Going to be held at the Charleston Music Hall, January the 29th at 11 o'clock a.m. So come one, come all, and help us celebrate. Okay?
Thank you, South Carolina State Representative Wendell Gilliard. We got a lot of work to do, brother. Well, you've been doing the work because, Greg, I learned something. This brother said something to me in March. Will be 20 years that I've been here doing #1 radio show in Charleston. And I've done so much community work with Wendell. And Greg, Wendell told me something a long time ago, and I never forgot it. He said, there's a difference between a politician and a public servant. Because politicians are public servants. But politicians are in to serve themselves. A public servant uses politics to serve the people. You told me that, Wendell.
And I also told you this. Remember, the politician only has the position. The public servant has the people.
Yeah, there you go. I like that. All right, thank you, man.
The politician has the people. Okay?
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, listen, thanks, man. I'm going to get you, and we'll talk off camera because there's so much, after Monday, we're going to have to do some stuff on the regular and just build this community or connect communities, which is why I got our brother Greg on. So I know you got to run. Thank you, Wendell. So, Greg, first of all, thank you for coming on. As I was saying before Wendell had to come back on, I'm 10 toes down in terms of making sure that I use my platform and my show and whatever influence or celebrity that I've got to make sure that we connect all the dots and make sure that we are supporting and building up everything from our Black-owned banks, supporting Black farmers. We need to buy land, grow our own crops, open up the grocery stores, have transportation companies, manufacturing companies, hospitals, health clinics, investment companies, real estate companies, finance companies where you can get your homes financed, and Black-owned media. So salute to you, brother. with your own media. And it's so important that we who have black media companies, we really have to stand in the breach, because quote unquote corporate media is beyond compromise. They done just sold out, and your platforms. Well, you got a white nationalist running X, and it looks like a soft white nationalist, Mark Zuckerberg, this and said, well, we ain't gonna do no more fact checking, and we want to help you know who. So I'm like, okay, so we have got to stand in the breach. Speaking of us standing in the breach, Greg, let us know exactly, and you can start wherever you want to start, because it's been so much deception, so many lies and disinformation about what's really going on out of Los Angeles. And I know there's a tradition, iconic black community, Altadena, that was really hard hit. And then out of all the cities and towns with mayors and fire chiefs and a governor, and not to mention you got state representatives and state senators and U.S. senators, the only person that seems to be getting all the blame is the black woman. So I want you to speak to that, Greg.
Yeah. First of all, thank you so much for having me on. And I've spent some time in South Carolina. I was stationed down there for 6 years
Really?
in
What part?
Beaufort, South Carolina.
Oh, that's about 45 minutes from where I'm standing now. As a matter of fact, my radio show booms into Beaufort. Got a lot of fans, a lot of listeners, and folks that even watch the TV show. Even though the great thing about YouTube is
Yeah,
global.
man. Listen, I heard Michael Jackson's "Off the Wall" for the first time listening to the Big DM.
Okay. Yep. Up in Columbia. Yeah.
Yeah. So
All right.
yeah, that's good.
Wow.
Good. Well, yeah, first of all, let's just kind of paint the picture of. There's a couple of things that I want to point out here. Is first of all, Los Angeles County is huge. People need to understand it's a huge geographic area. There are 88 cities in the county. Okay. And so each city is its own little, they have their mayors, they have their own city council, some have their own police departments, they're all self-contained and everything.
Hey,
So
Greg,
I
how
think
many
it's
people
pretty,
in LA County? What is it? I think the last number I heard is 15 million. Is that accurate, or is it more than
it's
that?
probably more like 9 to 10 million.
Okay.
hmm Um, I think it is unfathomable how many fires are around the county. Y'all need to understand this joint is on fire out here. Now, I live out by the beach, so I don't really see the fires. When you go outside, you can smell the smoke a little bit, and I'm a runner, so it's probably not good to go on a run right now just because it's very, very hazy. But if I drive up the road about, 20, 30 minutes, I'll be able to see the fires, and everything. It's just unbelievable what is happening. With regard to out, well, let me just continue my thought here. It is Martin Luther King weekend, and here at the Hannibal Media Group, actually were planning an art exhibit, and inside of the art exhibit, we had panel discussions, we had spoken word, a little bit of music, and then we were featuring 5 Black artists, not only from the region I'm in, but all around, the county. And we decided to postpone our art exhibit in honor of Dr. King so that we could focus um, our attention on service and what we need to do to help the people affected by the fires, most specifically the people that are in Altadena. I also used to live up in Altadena, so I know that area very, very well.
If you don't mind,
Folks,
Greg,
even
let me
in
just
LA,
ask you.
don't realize that this is a Black area.
Yeah, I apologize for interrupting, but I want to stop you at that point, because if you don't mind, please share. It's a very rich history in terms of African Americans and the city of Altadena. I didn't know you lived there, so if you don't mind sharing that history, this is a community that has been around for decades. You've had 3, 4, 5 different generations of Black Americans, very successful. As a matter of fact, I heard somebody said that it was kind of dubbed or nicknamed like the Black Beverly Hills. So give us the origin
Yeah.
story. Give us some background about Altadena.
Yeah, sure. Well, Black Beverly Hills is really over in Ladera, but that's a whole other story. But so Pasadena is a city you guys, folks might be familiar with the Rose Parade and the Rose Bowl
Hmm.
and all of that there, right? And so when you look at the city of Pasadena, northwest Pasadena will be the hood. That'll be the black area.
Okay.
And, we can talk about how that came about back in the day, redlining and all of those types of things where black folks, when they moved to this area during the Great Migration, California's black population really jumped during the Great Migration as black folks are coming out of the South. They're coming here to work in the aerospace industry and the different factories that are happening. And Pasadena is no exception. It got filled up with black folks, and because of redlining and statutes that existed in the day, the black community formed in Northwest Pasadena. Now, Altadena is right next door. When you cross Woodbury, you're in Altadena, and it goes up into the mountains. It's in the what is called the foothills, and you go up into the mountains, and there's that city. Those homes up there are absolutely beautiful. You know that the families that are up there have been there for generations. Matter of fact, I spoke with a pastor of a church, Pastor Kennebrew from the Hillside Church of God of Christ in Altadena, because he's boots on the ground out there. We had him on my podcast, and he was talking about the generation. Now, him and his wife are third generation
Wow.
of being in that region. Um, if you think about Altadena, it is a very close-knit black community. It's not the largest black community in the region. In fact, you're seeing on social media a great deal of black folks in LA did not even know that Altadena was a black community. Now, it's not all black. There are other, communities within Altadena, but there are a significant number of black folks. You got to talk about strong church community, strong academic community. All the institutions are there, the Masons,
Eastern
the Greek
Stars,
organization, the NAACP, everybody's there, right?
the
And
Lynx.
so it's a black community, and so um, it's important for us as black folks to stand behind Altadena. And there's a tremendous community pride. They call it Dina Proud, in that area. And so
I like that.
I have lots of friends up there still. I've had many friends who have lost homes. Um, if you, Gino, you may know this, there's these singers, the background singers called the Waters family,
Yes.
and they're on a lot of our records. Like if you go back on a lot of our songs, they're the background singers.
Hmm.
This family is world famous for their contribution to back. I mean, singing with Stevie, singing with Luther, singing with, I mean, the Waters family.
Yeah.
Very, very, very
I've
famous.
seen them in a
But Maxine,
documentary. I can't remember which one. Yeah. I've seen that
yeah, yeah.
family. Yeah.
So Maxine Waters lives in Altadena, and her home was burned
Really? Wow.
down.
Wow. So,
I can't
how,
hear
Greg, how
her
did,
Billy, all of her platinum records, all of her gold records, all of
Mhm.
what were you gonna ask? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, because you froze up for a second. Um, for Altadena, because there's been a lot of chatter, as you know, having a media company like mine about how these fires started. Now, they're all over LA County, but for Altadena, how do you have any idea, or have you been able to kind of ascertain, as they say, or gather exactly how the fire started, and the fire started in Altadena?
Yeah, they haven't been able to find the cause yet. I think all of the efforts right now are just trying to put the fires out.
Yeah.
You know, and if they're spreading all over the place. I mean, we could have a whole show about conspiracy theories. I have a couple of them,
Yeah.
and what's really going on
Yeah.
there. But I think that right now our focus is really getting the fires extinguished. There's a tremendous amount of looting where we really need to, keep folks out of there. The National Guard is up there in Altadena. I heard stories about not only are uh, people are trapped inside of Altadena. Well, what do you mean by that? So there's a story that the Reverend shared with me about a person who was blessed to have a generator. Home burned down, but he had a generator, was able to provide power for his family. They needed gas for the generator. Well, all of the gas stations in Altadena are closed. So this person had to go out of Altadena to get to the gas station to fill up his generator, but was not allowed to come back in because the National Guard is stopping anyone that's coming in there. You're not getting in there and you're not getting out. It is on lockdown. Mhm.
So people
And it's
who
hard to visualize too. So if I can just explain the topography of that area, right? It's the foothills, it's going up into the hills. And when you know that, there's fires, the wildfires that happen up on the mountain. Like you just know that's going to happen, but never does it come down. And I remember when it was first happening last week, I'm looking at the videos and everything. I'm like, I know those trees. Wait, the fire came down that far, from the mountain and then even the canyon over there. It's like, wow, it's unbelievable. And now the city is just block by block by block level, and so we don't know what caused it yet. I do have a couple of conspiracy theories, but I won't bore you with those right now. I just want them to, really focus. I need to just focus on recovery. Now, you were talking about, um, so Karen Bass. All right, people need to understand that Altadena is in the county.
right,
Okay, so it's not even a city. So
right.
Pasadena is the city. It has a mayor, its own police, on fire, all of that. Altadena is the county. So the police, as an example, those will be the sheriffs, the county sheriff. They don't have their own police department. Their legislative body is the county board of supervisors.
So
So
Altadena doesn't have a mayor because it's really the county, and Pasadena is in Altadena County. Is that the way to kind of understand it and look at it?
all of it is LA County.
Okay, gotcha.
And so Pasadena is its own city.
Okay.
So if you remember being in LA and then you would go to Inglewood, right?
Yeah.
So when you were at KJLH, you on Crenshaw, and then to get to Inglewood to go to the farm, you just drive down the road. Once you cross, what is that, Manchester, you in a
Inglewood.
whole
Yeah.
different city,
Right.
right? And so it's same thing. So you go up Manchester, in that area region, you go up Lake or Fair Oaks, and once you cross Woodbury, you're in Altadena. Mhm. And so
So
that's that. I think it's unfair to blame Mayor Bass. First of all, first and foremost, I don't think anybody in this country, indeed in this world, could do anything more than what government has done to fight these fires. The fires are massive, they're huge, they're, then the winds were blowing really hard. I mean, it's biblical you know, in size what we are dealing with up here. So let's just start there. It's like, okay, first of all, there's nothing she could have done. Okay, they're mad because she was in Ghana. All right, so she was in Ghana, but the minute she got the news, she's back on the plane headed here. I think that's pretty good. Now, I think it was wrong when the fire chief did come out there and criticize her about the budget cuts and everything like that. It's not exactly accurate because if you start getting into the numbers, you could see that maybe they cut on one line item but increase other line items. Let's just face it. After COVID, city governments, state governments are hurting. They put out a lot of money to help the people during the COVID. And now on the back end of that, we're seeing government suffering with, budget cuts and all of this here. So I think that we can just get up off of Karen Bass. That's like really, really crazy to even do so. Secondly, if we look at, they said they were running out of water. Well, I think with the tremendous amount of fires that were happening, maybe, just maybe, the water was, maybe the system was overwhelmed. I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
The
Greg,
fires are massive.
let me just jump in. I don't know if you saw the piece. So I got a chance to see a piece, a story on 60 Minutes by brother Bill Whitaker was the reporter. He talked to the fire chief of LA County. Now, this fire chief said himself that in regards to like the water, he said the problem wasn't that they didn't have water in tanks. It was the pressure was low because all the surrounding communities was using like the max of water all at the same time. And he frankly said, I'm paraphrasing because the quote is over there, that none of these local cities and towns, municipalities, have a water system that could deal with the fires that you guys were getting out in Los Angeles. He said, and he gave a good example, and I remember this number. He said for every structure, like a home or business, 3 engines, they usually would send 3 engines to put out 1 fire in 1 structure. Last number I heard, you can correct me or update me, I've heard 12,000 structures have burned and been destroyed. So if you just do the math, what, so 12,000 times what, 3? That's 36,000 engines. At the time, he said he was talking about, it was like, I guess Sunday it was like 8,000 when they taped this piece. He said that would have meant that they would have needed 24,000 fire engines to fight all those fires at once. And the fire chief of LA County said, I don't even think there's 24,000 fire engines in the entire state of California. And I'm just sharing that story just to amplify the point you were just making.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's really, really something. And I think people watch too much TV sometimes, and when they see fires, they think stuff is gonna. I mean, this is biblical proportions. We don't know what started it, and I'll get to that. Right now, it's like I said, the priority really needs to be about extinguishing the fires. Mayor Bass has already said that too. She said, we could talk about all that. Let me get the fires extinguished first, and then we could talk about it. And then even with her leader of the LA City Fire Department, who started this whole controversy, they need to get behind closed doors and just hash it out. That I don't know why that lady did that. I will say, as you say, for us, by us. Okay, so my opinion of the whole thing is that when we look at Black political leadership, um, you have Mayor Bass, mayor of Los Angeles. You have Mayor Rex Richardson, mayor of Long Beach. You have Mayor James Butts, mayor of Inglewood. You have Mayor, I can't remember him in Pasadena. I mean, I'm talking about all Black folks all across the region are running city government. You know, if you look at city council, even the leaders at the council level, presidents of city councils, mayor pro tems, all of that, these are Black people. And so, yes, in this age that we're in, as they want to make America great again, we do see attacks on Black political leadership because we have it right now. We have a very strong opportunity right now to make some gains for not only for us, but for all people. But Black folks are in charge. And so, no matter where we turn, folks are going to try to criticize or ostracize that which we do out here. So, if they're gonna do what we do, we just have to keep marching on.
So,
Never look back, never give up, never surrender.
so Greg, I always center the culture and the community here on the show, and I've explained to people from day one on this show, we are unapologetically pro-black. We're not
Yep.
anti anyone, but as
Yep.
America once again has shown us that it is anti-black, and it has been
Yeah.
anti-black for 406 years now, going on 6 years.
Yeah.
So what can we, those of us that's watching, I got people watching in Chicago, here in the Carolinas, in Charleston, in Charlotte, in Atlanta, all over, uh, Detroit, Milwaukee. What can we do as a culture to make sure that we support the brothers and sisters that lost homes and businesses and schools, churches, local banks? How can we help rebuild that community, and not just rebuild it, but rebuild it better? Now, I could imagine there's a lot of star power and a lot of black star power in LA, and I would hope that now they come together like the Black Avengers, like Voltron, and join forces and make sure that there's money. If the insurance companies that are acting funny, then maybe that a group of us, we need to have set up
Yeah.
funds or accounts,
Yeah.
for us, by us. Set it
Yeah.
up. It's enough of us that's got money, so people watching from all over the country, you know what is needed. What do you all need, and what can we do to assist that?
Yeah. This is the burning question. Even here, we're just asking, like I mentioned, I had Pastor Kennebrew on our podcast, and uh, that was the question. Okay, how can we help? And the analogy that he used is like, okay, if you lost a loved one in your family, right? You know that everybody at first at the funeral, funeral time, everybody bringing fried chicken and everything to the house, and giving you money and thus and so. But it's that month after,
Mm.
right? And we need to be thinking about the month after. The devastation is so profound that this is a long-term problem. It's going to turn into, to me, a money grab, where people are not going to be able to rebuild. And you're going to have a lot of land developers that are already out there, even now, trying to get people to sell them their land and everything like that. And I think the case study for that is when they had the fires in Maui, Hawaii. When was that, last year or whatever?
Yeah.
It became a big money grab for land developers. And so um, we have to look long range with how we can help. Now, there's like right now, there's plenty of water, there's plenty of clothes, there's plenty of all this kind of stuff, right? But we have to begin to look at how we can help in the long run. Right now, there's a need for, um, you know, we have feminine hygiene items, but you know, underwear and just think about the people when they got the evacuation order, just threw a couple of bras and panties in a bag and kept it pushing, you know what I mean, to get out of there, and now they have nothing, and so there's this type of need. I'm publishing today, like I was sharing with you, I was sitting here working on my website because I got a lot of resources from uh, Altadena and listing what they need. And you can go to my website a little later on after we finish public. We're doing the work even as we speak, beachcityradio.com, and you'll be able to find a list of what is needed. But as you are moved to donate or want to help the people in Altadena, understand that this is a long-term project. It's going to take years for us to bring the people back to some sense of normalcy, if that's even possible.
So, Greg, let me
Hmm.
ask you, because my grandfather had a saying, one of his many pearls of wisdom, that you do what you want to do when you want to do it bad enough. So, if you don't mind, talk about those systems. If there's systems in place, or I'm sure you got some great ideas about some systems that we need to set up to put in place because we know that the vultures are going to try to come in and basically buy up the land and move the black folks up out of Altadena. But what can we do as a culture and as a community, uh, not just here in America, but globally? People can see this show on YouTube globally. So, what systems can we help set up? Uh, I'm sure there's probably some systems already set up. Maybe you got some ideas on some systems that may need to be set up, and there's probably some people watching this who may have expertise in some of those systems that you feel that need to be in place or supported that's already in place long term. Because the long game, the enemy, they play a long game. You are absolutely right. So we got to play that same long game.
Yeah, yeah. That's an excellent question, and I don't have the answer for that right now. I don't think any of us do quite yet because we're still scrambling, and I mean, it's all happening in real time, even as we speak, as we
So the
scramble to
fires.
try to.
On that point, I'm sorry to jump in. I meant to ask you: are fires still burning in Altadena, and
Yes.
how much is contained or not contained?
Yeah, the last I checked, this one is the Eaton Canyon fire that they say, and so the last I checked, it was 27% contained. I'll check a little later on today. You got new fires popping up all over Southern California.
Mm.
It's crazy, man. Listen,
Woo.
I just think, well, like I said, I don't want to get into conspiracy theories, but I'm also a man of faith, and I just will tell you that God is telling us something right here.
Oh, I agree
Okay.
with that. That's not a
Yeah.
conspiracy theory. I said,
Yeah.
so I don't know if you got a chance to see the episode. I know I sent you a couple, but you're busy running your own media company. I said there are two forces in the history of humanity, two forces in the history of all of humankind, humanity, that are undefeated: Father Time and Mother Nature.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mother
Yes,
Nature
yes,
is
yes.
undefeated. She will
Yeah.
always be undefeated. After all of us come and gone, whatever, Mother Nature was here before us, and she'll be here after us.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a big job, and I think like even FEMA and those types of places are, trying to scramble and get things in place. I know that right now you're seeing mighty moves of city governments trying to put financial resources in place and everything like that. I really am impressed with community organizations, what they've been doing. I mean, what is this? This is Wednesday, so you have, right? This week has been pretty good, I think, in terms of setting up at least places where you can get, where the people can get water and food and baby formula and all of that sort of thing. But I think the next step is really trying to find out how insurance works. I know they did some sort of um, I guess you would call it what, a moratorium on with the insurance companies.
Yes, I saw that.
Uh, Yeah,
Governor
yeah.
Newsom,
So
Gavin Newsom.
everybody, yes, and everybody's in emergency mode right now. Um, um, I just don't have the answer right now. We just stand ready to help our brothers and sisters in Altadena for the long run, because especially as we are in this particular week, because Dr. King talks about the beloved community and
Yes.
turning our energies and away from the party
Yeah.
to real community service is what we're about, and we just have to take it one day at a time on what that looks like. Uh, working with, if you have, what I'm saying, relationships with mighty community organizations, staying lockstep with them. If the Greek organizations, as an example, right, are making moves for relief, stay in tune with what they're doing, so that can hit the ground. The NAACP and all these different groups that we have, institutions that we have, and just stay lockstep. Because again, this is just the long run. It really is going to be a battle for the ages. And we have to take care of ourselves. This is
True.
do for self. We have to do that. The country is showing you what they think about us. And, we just can't always rely on city government or state government or even federal government to bail us out. We have to be about our
Yeah.
own business.
That's why I said for us, by us. We are all we got. But the
Yeah.
truth is, we are all we need. Our ancestors gave us the blueprint. They came out of think about what they had to deal with coming out of Reconstruction after slavery. And they made the gains, opening businesses, became U.S. senators and mayors and ran cities. And then you had Jim Crow and all that, the murder, lynching, rape, and everything, legalized segregation,
Yeah.
literal laws that
Yeah.
the Nazis and the apartheid government used as a blueprint. The
That's right.
blueprint for the Nuremberg
Yes.
the blueprint for the apartheid laws
Yes.
were America's Jim Crow laws. Hitler literally in the 30s, in the early 30s, sent a lawyer, a Nazi lawyer, to the University of Arkansas Law School to try to figure out, wait a minute, you got this Constitution and Declaration of Independence and all men are created equal. You got that, but how's it that you were able to create these laws to oppress, this whole segment of the population? And the
Yeah.
blueprint for those Nuremberg laws that Hitler and the Nazis used to oppress and kill the Jews, and the apartheid laws that were used to oppress South Africans, the blueprint was America's Jim Crow laws. But in spite of that, not only did we survive, our ancestors thrived. And we are like the dreams of our ancestors. So, look, we are all we got, but we are really all we need when we come together. And on that note, before I let you go, and thank you, Greg, for coming on, brother. I really want to work with your media company. It's so important that we support and uplift all Black-owned media, because we are really in the breach to really get the really full truth. You can't depend on X. You can't depend on Meta, which Facebook, Instagram. So people are going to have to really lean in to Black media, and then we're going to have to really make sure that we are standing up. We are rising to the moment, and that
Yeah.
we understand the assignment. But if there's any nonprofits that that's really doing great work, please, out in LA, feel free to shout them out so we can support them, and give us your website so we can go in and learn some more about the company and all the information that you said you'll have up later. Give us all your social media contacts.
Yeah, for sure. I think that you could start. I would say the West Angeles Community Development Corporation is even now mobilizing. They have a rich history of community empowerment. They're mobilizing. They're actually, just like we're talking here, we're just kind of see what is going to happen, like, so that they could put the concrete programs on the ground and be effective like their history is. I think that's a good one. You can get them at westangelescdc.org. If you go on for as far as our platforms, my podcast is called Coffee Conversations with Greg J. We publish twice weekly. We are casual, culturally relevant conversations from a decidedly global perspective. And our next one coming up, we're talking about the immigration policies of the United States from a Black perspective, because when we hear, government talking about mass deportations and all that, we immediately go to, okay, our Latino brothers and sisters, but you got a lot of Africans, Caribbean,
Haitian.
saying, who are here, and
Mm-hmm.
these deportations could affect our brothers and sisters. And so we had some experts from they're continental Africans, but experts in immigration on there. And then, of course, we're always talking about these fires and everything like that. Beach City Radio, like Long Beach, beachcityradio.com is the website. And from there, you can link up with all of our different platforms. We do coffee. Basically, Hannibal Media Group creates media. We import and sell coffee from Cameroon, West Africa. we promote and advocate arts and culture. And I will say, since this is, we're speaking strongly black, I will leave you with this. I think, Gino, we have been in the radio business all of our adult lives. So
Mm-hmm.
we have had a front row seat to culture, to music and everything. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that what has happened now as a people, we need a cultural revolution because the music that we're hearing is not good for our mental health, our emotional health. I'm not saying censor it. I'm just saying it should not be at the forefront. There's certain songs out there, what I'm saying, that need to be in the back, and we need to begin to police ourselves and and begin to uplift and be more conscious about the art that we're creating out here. And this is just the first step to where we are right now as a people here in America. And yeah, that's
So,
it.
so Greg, it is so funny that you went there. I want you to come back. First of all, you have a permanent home on my platform and on this show.
All right.
And I would be honored to partner with your media company. But
Yeah, yeah.
very soon, I don't know, maybe we could, well, we could maybe do it February, Black History Month, but every day is Black History Month, Black History Day, because Black history is American history on this show. Or maybe wait for Black Music Month that actually was started, designated by the late President Jimmy Carter in 1979. A lot of people don't know that, but Jimmy Carter was the one that created a Black Music Month.
That's
But
right.
that's a conversation I've had with people over decades. But I think that right now that's a really important conversation to have because you talked about a lot of the music that you may hear on like the commercial terrestrial radio stations and even on the streaming platforms. Well, understand they're gatekeepers, and it ain't a bunch of black folks that actually run these huge companies. The CEOs of Universal Music Group, it's not a black person, okay? So people make a decision on what music is sent out to the public. And it's not accidental either. It's intentional. So Greg know he's there in LA. So we know, listen, we know people that's been in this music game. He was right there when the whole West Coast rap exploded. He was there from NWA and when Dre was with the world class Wrecking Crew, and then
That's right.
went produced. So you've seen it all. You know the history, but you also know who the gatekeepers were and who the people that made the decisions that we would promote a style of rap that celebrated violence as opposed to a style of rap that celebrated culture and community and intelligence. So that's a whole different show.
It's
But
a whole different show.
you are equipped to have that conversation, and the fact that you brought it up, I love it. So please, let's just touch and agree that you're gonna come back so we can have that, because we can have a real conversation with facts. Because you and I both, like you said, we've been in this game over 3 decades, and LA's your home. You've been out there. I've worked out there, but I still got a lot of friends that were in the industry that's doing their own thing right now. So we know where a lot of the bodies are buried, and that's a metaphor, a rhetoric metaphor. But
That's right. That's
none
right.
of this, what you have been hearing on the radio for the last 30 years is not by accident. It's
That's
not.
right. That's right.
And
Hey, let
no,
me ask you a question.
uh-huh.
Are you still Geno?
Uh, no, it's fun. I'm just Geno on the radio, but you remember I was right. In LA,
Geno.
It's funny. So the quick story, Greg, how that nickname came. So before I left Pittsburgh and came to LA. So what happened is that people knew I grew up in Chicago. So first it was co-workers, and then I was, even though the weird thing is I've been a Kareem and Magic Laker fan, then Shaq and Kobe. So even in Chicago, I was always a Lakers fan because the Bulls didn't get good until Jordan got there.
That's
But you
right.
know, I love Jordan and Scotty, and I love the Bulls. That's why that first championship that the Bulls won when they beat the Lakers, I was torn. I remember, right? I was like, damn, Magic is my dude. Now Kareem ain't. But that's like I didn't. I honestly was like, okay, listen, I want the Lakers to win, but I want another part of me. I wanted the Bulls to win because Chicago was. We never. I mean, the Lakers, their legacy was even in the early '90s was it's the Lakers, and the Bulls was who until
That's right.
until Jordan came around. So that's how I got to nick people who knew I grew up in Chicago, and they're like, "Oh, you Chicago, Michael Jordan, you Air Geno, you the Air Jordan," and then I was on the air on the radio. So that's how I got the nickname. I said, okay, got a cool ring. I just kept it. But that's
Yeah.
yeah,
I
that's
mean, yeah, man, you got a chapter in LA radio history, that's for sure.
yeah. I
Yes.
loved it out there. Listen,
Yeah.
Greg Johnson, everybody, the CEO of Hannibal Media. I just love the name Hannibal Media. To me, that makes a statement right there because a lot of folks, if you don't know who Hannibal is, as Shaq said, Google him.
Google. That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
And honor Dr. King. So thank you. Thank you, Greg. I really want us to have that conversation. So now we have each other's number. We will stay in touch. And thank you for sharing that. Once again, what's it? Beach, the website?
Yeah, Beach City Radio.
beachcityradio.com,
Yes.
right? Okay. All right.
Because
And
we originate we're actually in Long Beach, which
okay.
is like we were talking about the cities, and we're
Right.
LA County and
Right.
everything. But you go up the road, you're at LA,
Hmm.
Well, we're in Long Beach, and so that's what it is,
And
Beach City Radio.
this coffee that you told us about, can people purchase this coffee from Cameroon on your through your website, or is that a
Absolutely.
different
You'll see
platform?
the name of the coffee company is Kalimba Song Coffee Company, like the kalimba that Earth, Wind, and Fire plays.
Yeah.
You go to Kalimba Song Coffee Company, you'll see our online store. There we do the coffee, we bring in the coffee, import that. We bring in African art that we import from Southern Africa. We do trips to Africa. That one is a epicenter for culture, global Black culture.
Well, when you said coffee, I could hear and see my wife and my daughters, especially my oldest daughter. They're like Starbucks. They're the Starbucks queens. So I'm like, all right, them colonizers got enough money. Let's support. But I guarantee if she knew that there was like a black-owned coffee company, she would love to. And as a matter of fact, you mentioned Cameroon. My wife did she did like the whole ancestry, trace her ancestry, and part of her ancestry is from Cameroon. So I'm
Nice,
I'm going to I'm gonna
nice.
turn her on to that. And what's the name of the
Yeah,
company
let her
again?
know it's premium coffee. If they're real coffee drinkers, they'll know this is premium coffee. The thing of it is, we're a collective here in the United States that buys directly from a collective in the mountains of Cameroon.
Wow,
And we actually bring the coffee in through Charleston.
really?
Yes.
Oh well, if you happen to be on one of those trips, you got to holler at your man. We have to go do lunch or dinner or something. So the coffee, give us the name of that coffee company. And everybody watching, please go and order. If you drink coffee, you got coffee drinkers in your family, because like I said, my wife and oldest daughter, they are definitely coffee connoisseurs. So
Sure.
what's the name where we can go
Kal-
and order that coffee? Because I'm gonna order them some.
Kalimba Song Coffee Company.
Is
Kalimba,
Columbus Song Coffee Company.
Kalimba.
Is that your company?
It's my company.
All right. Oh, well, we definitely got to
Yes.
support Greg. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Listen, Greg Johnson, man, thank you for your time. You've been so generous with your time. I know you got to finish up your website, and we are here to. We are part of, like I said, we are all we got, and we are all we need. So, for us, by us. So we are here for you. We understand the assignment. So hopefully you can be a regular contributor on the show. And listen, I'd love to be a guest on your show. So let's make sure
No,
we
yeah,
stay.
you got it. And please send me the links to your shows too, because we'll post that too.
Great. Yeah. Well, you'll have this episode. I'm wrapping it up now. So I'm gonna email it to you and I'll text it to you. So I appreciate it. Thank you,
All
Greg.
right.
Be safe.
All right. Now, thank you so
Thank
much.
you,
Peace
man.
and blessings.
All right, I can't wait to have him back on the show. That was a great guest. Man, thank you, Greg. That was good. And shout out to my man, Andre Russell. out there in Los Angeles at KJLH Radio. Still works out there. He put me in touch with Greg. All right, shout out to everybody watching. Hello. A lot of folks watching. Why is that acting crazy? Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you, and especially you. God, most of all, thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show live, Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. And it seems like I think my streaming may be thrown off a little bit. Okay, it shouldn't be. All right, I'm just looking at a monitor. Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 in Chicago, 3:30 p.m. live in Los Angeles. Tell everybody you know to subscribe, share, screen grab, rip some of the video, like, binge watch all my back episodes, leave your comments in my comment section. Allie Jones, the official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show. Check Allie Jones and her Lexi Jones collection out. lx.ncl_. lx.ncl_. Bruce Gage, also wardrobe consultant to the show. Check him out on Instagram, Miglio di Mario Uomo. It's Migliodi. Mario Uomo. It's an Italian surname, U. Uomo is Uomo. All right. Also, the Geno Jones Show, brought to you by City Vibes Bar and Lounge, the ultimate adult night spot. Great food, great drink, fabulous food, fabulous drink. Live DJs like Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, and a fantastic Sunday brunch. Shout out to Corey and Kenya Williams, the owners of City Vibes. They got a big week. Just go follow them. You can check them out. Follow City Vibes. V like Victor. VIB like boy. ES City Vibes on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. They have a huge week-long full of events leading up to the King holiday. And shout out to the Crate Group and the CEO, Kendrick Bannister, also the Geno Jones Show sponsor, brought to you by the Crate Group. Brother Kendrick, or Brother Al as we call him, the CEO, Mr. Bannister, will be my guest along with some other members of the Crate Group. They're having this huge event for the culture and the community called the Gullah Harambe. So they'll be my guest to talk about that on Thursday. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for watching. All right, let me get out of here. I'll see you live Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 Chicago, 3:30 p.m. live in Los Angeles. Don't forget to tell everybody to subscribe to the show and share, like, and leave your comments right here in the comment section.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.